Hi guys, and welcome back to the Chasing Past Golf Podcast. We're in this week. We're actually back with the kind of tournament previews, which makes a nice change from all the player interviews and stuff. Obviously, that's great, but it's the Chevron week. It's the Chevron Championship, the first major of the LPG Tour season, and I've got my good buddy Scott Mader with me. All the way from beautiful Canada. How's things since the last time that we talked?
Uh, Everything's going great, Craig. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's been a few months since we've done this. I believe it was the Tour Championship last fall, last winter. So it's good to be talking some golf again and being part of this preview for the first major of the year. Looking forward to it.
So obviously, myself, yourself, and four other we consistently provide the kind of best picks for each week on the LPGA tour. Obviously, you've had a hot start to the season. You topped the leaderboard, but how how have you kind of enjoyed like the start to the LPGA tour season? It's been a good one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I have enjoyed it. I think it's kind of leading into this and the rest of the year where the season really gets going. But I think we've had some quality winners. Um, Apparently, I'm in first in our little group. I wish I maybe could have hit one more outright winner, hit a few top tens, making some cuts, but a couple more wins would be nice. But as far as for the season goes, we have a nice, array of winners, quality players. So I'm very pleased with the season so far. But I think we're really due for a good one here coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying briefly off air that yeah, last week's so last week was a bit of a touchy subject with so obviously on my course preview I put up Ingrid Lundblad for the readers of We Know Fantasy. I thought she was a good fit at 100 to 1. I didn't quite think that she would get over the line on Sunday with, the likes of Aki Iwai playing very well, Lauren Coughlin, you know what she's like recently in that type of position. Like even Nelly, I think she was tied third after 54 holes. You think, oh shit, here comes Nelly again. But she didn't really do much, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised Ingrid Lundblad kind of, well, I'm I am surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time because she's a very good player. But to win on a third full start as an LPGA Tour member in a rookie year, I mean, it's pretty impressive.
For sure. Honestly, I'm with you. I was following that tournament closely. I thought I had an outside chance. I actually had money on Minji and Nelly, and they were both kind of hovering 4 shots back heading in. So I thought, go low. Ingrid might get nervous, but with all the sharks hovering around, there was a lot of big names close to Ingrid. She held on, which was very impressive. I think a lot of those sharks hovering are waiting to peak this week, but nonetheless, they were trying to win last week, and Ingrid Lindblad held on. So that's a great win for her. You could just go down the list of people who came top 10, and she beat a very quality field there to close that tournament out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to be honest, it doesn't come as a massive shock considering she had one of the best amateur slash collegiate careers, like possibly ever out with Rose Zhang. So obviously, we all know the quality is there for Lindblad. I thought it'd maybe take a little bit more time before she had a chance at contention, but at 100 to 1 to put her up, it was lovely, and I don't see us getting 100 to 1 on her like for a good while at least. Anyway, she's too good. So yeah, it's been an interesting one, but we're into the Chevron this week, and yeah, any memories from last year's apart from obviously Nelly Korda going 5 wins in a row, I believe at the time.
For last year, no, I remember. I mean, I wasn't on Nelly. I generally don't bet at that level, but that doesn't mean I won't. But honestly, I don't have a lot of memories of last year's tournament. It just seemed like it was a inevitable Nelly win. I actually have more trauma from the first year they played it at this golf course in 2023. I have a lot of memories of when they played the Chevron there. Last year seemed more of a formality to me that Nelly was going to win. The year before it was, I think there's 4 or 5 of them, and I know, don't want to get too ahead of myself. I know Jeeno Thitikul was right there, leader in the back nine 2 years ago, and a shot into the par five to potentially win it. But I so no, I have a lot more memories from 2 years ago. Last year, just it was kind of Nelly and her thing that it was amongst those 6 wins and 7 starts, whatever she had last year. I don't know if this was one that kicked it off or the second one. I kind of forget off the top of my head, but I know that Chevron was in that stretch where Nelly was dominant last year.
Yeah, I mean, so like to be honest, at that kind of stage of the season, it felt like Nelly was going to win every single tournament she was teeing up. To be honest, like she just found an extra gear from somewhere, like at every single tournament. So just looking at the leaderboard from last year, so like Nelly won it by 2 shots from Maya Stark, which isn't a great shot considering how like how good Maya Stark is off the tee, etc. Like the distance she gets. This is a very long golf course, to be honest, by women's standards. So that's no shock to see Maya up there. Lauren Coughlin and Brooke Henderson tie third. Heiran Ryu as well was very consistent again. Fifth, Carlotta Shiganda sixth, Esther Henselite seventh, Jinny Yim eighth, Yelimino, Ailim Kim, Minami Katsu make up the top 10. And then Jeeno Thitikul in her first event last year back after injury was the Chevron, and she was in contention before a 4 over round in the last round catapulted her down to 12, but a respectable finish by Jeeno last year. But yeah, that just shows you the type of quality that the women's game has at the minute, and expect nothing less this week.
Yeah, before we get going too far, I just want to point out we were talking about Ingrid Lindblad, and surprise to me, winner before that, Madeline Sagstrom. That's 2 straight Swedes, and we got Maya Stark there at second, another Swede, and we have Lynn Grant, big hitter down there who could work with this course. So just keep that in mind. We might have the Swedes might take over this month of April here.
Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't put past it, to be honest. So obviously, so for those that are casual kind of viewers to the LPGA Tour, obviously, so the Chevron it's only been at the current course at Carlton Woods, the Woodlands, since 2023. It was for as long as I can remember. It was in California for a very long time. The famous Poppy's Pond that they ended up jumping into at the end was a big feature of that as well. You had players that played well in California every year at the Chevron, etc. And to be honest, speaking with some of the players and some of the caddies, like obviously that I've been doing, um, they kind of so I believe the course at Carlton Woods is a little bit of a hit and a miss course. So some people love it, some people hate it. Um, I guess I guess when you move, to another course from like a course that I believe everybody loved in California, it takes time, but yeah, it seems to be either a love or a hate course, and that's the kind of gist I'm getting from that. But it's an interesting one still. I don't think it's a very good course personally, but I mean that's up to debate. But you still get some of the best players in the world, playing well at this course as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. But so in the 2 years that it's been here at Carlton Woods, Lily Avu won it in 2023, and then last year obviously was Nelly Korda. Um, Still a tough golf course, and I still feel like this year as well is going to be a tough golf course, even though the depth and the quality of the LPGA Tour now is on another level at this point in time. I don't expect that to change, and yeah, is there anybody? Is there anybody in particular that maybe you're avoiding? So like that could be a short hitter or whatever.
So yeah, to jump in on the course, yeah, 2 years. When I looked at it, I just threw out anything not from this course from the Chevron. Very interested to hear that the players are so polarizing that they love or hate it. Kind of, I get the same vibe when they go to the Evian or other major where it's the same course every year, where there's a lot of love-hate relationships. So that's kind of interesting to me that the two courses that are, at the same venue every year out of the majors are very polarizing to the players, whether they love them or hate them. So didn't know that, found that tidbit interesting. Um, Looking at the 2 years, you're seeing some of the same names up top. So yeah, it's definitely good for the long hitters. So when you say avoiding players, you're kind of shorter hitters kind of thrown out. I mean, the big one would be Ayaka Furie, who's so consistent, but the distance could really, you don't see her name in the top 10 the last 2 years, but yet she's very consistent golfer.
So sorry, I'll just kind of interrupt you there. I believe, I believe in the two years it's been there. I think our best finish at the Chevron is like 44th, I think, something like that. So there you go,
Yeah,
44th and 50th or something like that. Yeah. So
so there's a reason why we're
so
getting
that
her
kind of
30 to
alludes
1.
to the distance kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's why we're getting a good number on her, but I haven't seen anyone really pick her, so I think that's a pretty obvious cross off. Not saying she doesn't have the talent to play anywhere, but when you're looking for ways to cross off top players, her distance definitely does. And you know what? I just see the names like, I mean, Nelly's basically been one shot off the lead and won. Brooks been up there. Heyron Ryu's been up there. Alim Kim's been up there. I mean, Carlota Segunda has been up there both years. Jeeno's been there both years. She's 2 strokes out, and like you said, was there until the bad fourth round last year, which is understandable considering it was her first start off injury. So I actually, when grading her chances this week, I grade the 12th last year as even better than a 12th, considering that was her first start off injury. Um, but yeah, so that's the name. I think we both had that name as kind of a watch out, probably not for her course. Do you have any other top players that you're kind of where this particular course and what it requires, where you've kind of crossed off right from the get-go?
So obviously, so I'm going to correct myself actually on the Ayak Furui. So it was 50th and 52nd, or two attempts at Carlton Woods. So obviously, obviously I feel like with Ayaka, like she's never going to miss a cut, but like in terms of the length, it's just not a course that really suits her at all. Like it's just far too long, like for her standards anyway. Um, I don't know. This is gonna sound a bit weird because I love her so much, but I think Hannah Green, to be honest. I just like she's playing. She's plodding along. She's playing. She's still consistent as ever. She's playing well, but when when you look at when I was doing the major form, etc., when you look at her Chevron form, I mean, including California, there's like three miscuts in there, including the last two in a row. So yeah, I don't know. There just seems to be something with Hannah Green, like in the major championships. She doesn't seem to play as well as you would think she would for a player of her quality, like in comparison to, like the regular tour events where she's always in contention. So probably Hannah Green for me, to be honest, as much as I hate to say it.
So do you want to start at the top of the board move down? Because I kind of
Mhm.
have something on. So we're good to start there at the top of the board.
So yeah, obviously we'll go into the odds board, and so obviously there's a clear favourite, and I'll let you go over her because I know she's your single bullet this week. But I'll say my piece like once you've obviously gone over why you fancy Jeeno to win this week. But yeah, so Jeeno Thitikul, why is she winning the Chevron Championship for you this week?
Okay. So Jeeno Thitikul was my preseason pick. The last time we spoke, you had questioned her ability to win, and I said, don't give up on her yet. And she went and won that Toro Championship, the $4 million prize. And then when we were just going over the majors this year, I felt like she was going to win here. I felt like she had it won in 2023. She was winning the back nine. She went into 18 and she put it in the water where I believe she thought she needed eagle, where in hindsight, a birdie would have got her into the playoff. Last year, it was just her first start back, and she still was in contention up until the last round. You look at her form, it's just she's a top 10 machine, contending or almost contending every week. The scoring here, the winner is going to be close to -10. I feel like that really brings the best players. So I just think her floor here is to be in the mix. So I just had usually I like to take more players, especially there are some very good fits in the 25 to 35 range. But I just felt like, you know what, I picked it early. Um, Everything points to a big win for her out of anyone, clearly the best player to never have won a major. So it's just this course is could be where she breaks through. So I just decided that it's not a single bullet, but it's close. I had enough left over to add a couple down the board, but most of my investment and most of my I mean, everyone asks me who's going to win. I'm kind of putting my name out there. I'm going all in. I know it's the favorite. Not a lot of risk saying, hey, the favorite's going to win, but I really think it's Jeeno Thitikul. So that's my case. I think it's her time. The form's there. She's been great at this course. So your thoughts, talk it off, give the counter argument, but Jeeno, that's where I'm going.
This is where this is where I kind of miss, like obviously doing the tournament previews on a like a permanent basis because I'd always try and have a counter argument. So like even on the PGA Tour, like for the majors when it was like Scotty and Scotty, Rory, and Ram when he was at his peak powers at the time as well. I'd always have counter arguments for them as well. So that's kind of not going to change for for the women's game. So before anyone gives me shit for it, I am going to say that obviously I'm not discounting Gino Titikun's chances at any point like this week. I do think that she's going to be in the top five. So don't like don't try and fight me just yet. Um, so the thing with Gino is right. So like obviously she made me look silly at the Tour Championship. Yeah, that's fine. Like okay, I had egg in my face right there. That's fine. There's always a possibility it could be that lightning could strike twice. Okay, I could be okay with that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So when it comes to Gino, to be honest, like just looking at a major record, I know she was injured for the best part of I think it was about 6 months or something. But like when she did come back, obviously 12th 12th year last year on her first start back, which is fine. Sixth at the US Open at Lancaster, 52nd at the KPMG, miscut at Evian, and 17th at St Andrews last year. I mean, for a player of for a player of that quality, that in my view just now, I know Nelly theoretically is the best player in the world, but for me, Gino is the best player in the world at the minute. So for a player of that quality, to have, I know it's a different course, etc. 52nd and a miscut in that time as well. When it comes to majors, is there more pressure on Gino now to, deliver and to be that standout performer? She can make me look silly this week, but I don't know. I just think there's too much pressure on her.
I mean, I'm
Don't
not
know.
going to argue that because, to be honest, I would usually not. I would. It's very easy to make a case for Jeeno. It's very easy to make a case for Nelly because they're great players, the course history, and people doing what we do week to week more often than not avoid this part of the board just out of principle. And generally, I do too, but I make exceptions, and sometimes it pays off. Um, but I'm not worried about the pressure. I do think when you look at her major results, there's definitely more variance. She still has a ton of top tens and majors, but the
Mhm.
variance of missing cuts and the 50ths are not like her regular tour starts where she seems to just her bottom is a top
Top
20.
10,
Yeah.
top 10 every
So
week now.
for sure. But I just think when you look at overall her form now, injuries behind her, overall her history at this course, you said it like you feel like it's a top five. So if we're talking about her floor being top five, top 10, then you figure I'm going into Saturday, Sunday with a chance. And ultimately, when you make a card, you're hoping one of your picks just gives you that chance, that sweat on Sunday. And I just feel like I'm hard pressed to think that Gino's not going to be relevant come Sunday. And then to kind of throw in the other favorite in the mix, it's hard for me to say that Nelly won't be either. Like her form is not as good as Geno's, but she's hovering. She's been there. She's just having bad weekends. So anyone could say counter and go, well, Nelly's going to win, and I would have a hard time saying no, she's not. But you kind of have to choose your fighter. And for me, when the two clear favorites are Jeeno at 9-10 to 1, I believe Nelly's 10-11 to 1, I'm with Jeeno. So I'm going to throw it back at you. Like, you could only choose one of those two. Who would you take, Nelly or Jeeno?
This, like, obviously, I said at the start of the season, I think Nelly would win the Chevron, so I'm going to stick to that. But yeah, I think Nelly. But just, I, I like, I know Gino's still only 22 years old, but like, I don't know. I just think Nelly has, she has like a lot more experience at the high end of major championship Sundays when it comes to trying to win majors. I mean, she's got two out of her 15 wins have been majors, so probably Nelly. But yeah, I
Yeah,
said Nelly. I'm going to stick to Nelly.
yeah, clearly you're not betting Nelly. I am
No, I'm
betting
not.
Gino,
I'm
which is
not.
no, I know, but it's like I said, we generally avoid players at those odds. But as far as the stories and what the TV focuses on, you're focused on the number one player in the world, the number two player in the world, the defending champion, the best player without a major. So these are two very relevant golfers and the most should be most talked about really coming into it. And I am staking my spot behind Gino, and I'm scared of Nelly. Like, who isn't? If you're not backing in Nelly, you should be scared of Nelly because she's been great here, and I mean, she won what 7 times last year, and this particular tournament she won. So she's obviously going to be scary here. But I chose Gino up top over
Obviously,
Nelly.
obviously with Nelly's distance as well, that factors in like why she plays so well here as well because it's such a long course. Because she's so long off the tee, like she's got an advantage as such. So
For sure. And that's why I mean, we've talked Nelly, Gino, there's a third favorite, and she's kind of in the middle. Like, she's clearly behind the top two, but she's got a little distance from the odds board of the next group. But Lydia Ko, great story end of last year, but I haven't seen one person kind of talk about her or pick her this week, and I think
it's
she
the
kind of
distance off the tee. I
has,
think.
yeah,
I think it's the distance off the tee.
for sure, the distance off the tee. And that's why when we were talking about who we were canceling out, I asked to go to the top of the odds board because I thought I could talk about Lydia then, but I was like, no, we'll bring her up once we kind of go to the board, and she'd be pretty soon talked about. And I think Lydia has been, at least for me, you have to find reasons to not bet people. You can't bet everyone. And the number with Lydia at this course, the fit, I just kind of, it was an easy cross off for me. And looking at what I've seen people posting, I think a lot of people have the same philosophy. They've kind of just They like Lydia, but not here.
I mean, like say it was at say it was at the course in California. Obviously, she's won the Chevron before in 2011. So like obviously, it's a tournament she should like. But this golf course, I don't think is like honestly, it's a big red flag for Lydia. I think distance wise, it's just we keep going on about the distance, but it's a major factor.
Well, I mean, in a lot of majors, it is. I mean, especially when you look at like U.S. Opens type setups, like distance, like if you just don't have it, you're almost crossed off before the tournament even starts. So like this is I believe the longest course they're playing. So it's just you got to handicap the field, and when you have a course that's just going to bring out driving distance to this extreme, it gives us a reason to cross off some of the top players. Doesn't mean they can't win. It just means a lot of things have to go their way, and a lot of like, just kind of have to be perfect at every aspect. And when handicapping a golf tournament with a field of over 100 golfers, like you can't you can't bet on every single bounce going your way and just getting lightning hot on putters or chipping in. But so it's really going to favor players like Nelly and not favor the players like Lydia Ko when you look at the shapes of their game.
I mean, obviously, considering she's a three-time major champion, Lydia Ko, and obviously a Hall of Famer, she's already won this year as well. Like, she's not exactly in the worst of form, but like obviously when you look at her course form, 17th in a missed cut, um, you've just got to kind of like even at 18 to 1, like it seems an appealing price, but you've got to look elsewhere.
She's playing great. We're just, again, I don't like to go too down on these top players because you have to find reasons to take someone
Mm.
else. But this course has done that for us. But Lydia's still playing great. Had an amazing end of the last year. I believe she came sixth the last time she played this year. So I mean, we're not talking about someone who's not playing good golf.
So out of the next four of Ailem Kim, Jin Young Ko, Charlie Hull, and Hey Ran Yu, who's the best shout out of them four? I'll start personally with Ailem Kim. I just think obviously she's got a ninth year last year and a fourth the year before. She had an amazing start to the year with her new caddy at the time, Bruce Lowe. Won their first tour event together. She's kind of kept that hot form run going after that win. Like I expected her to do a little bit better at the match play, but I mean the match play is a free for all at the end of the day. But she's kind of gone a little bit of a lighter schedule than some of the other players in this range. So I don't think it's too much of a concern. Like obviously she like for this course, it seems like a perfect fit for Ailem Kim. So yeah, out of them four, probably Ailem Kim. It's easy to fade Charlie Hull. She just does not have it on a Sunday. Sorry, it's got to be said.
Yeah. So you put those four together. Obviously, I was going to let you talk about Alim Kim. That is definitely, it makes the most sense in that range because you see a lot of people betting her. Course history, she's got the win this year. Clearly, her game since second half of last year is elite. She's now up there, so a lot of 25 to 1s on her. So that's the kind of player I have to sacrifice betting if I'm going to go all in on someone with Jeeno up top. But I can't talk anyone off Alim Kim. I almost,
Yeah.
if it happens, it's almost one of the ones that's like it was shown to you. It's there, like the history, the way she plays, her form. So I'm clearly she's the best in that four. What I find good about the odds, what I think I see her, I see Jin Young Ko low 20s, and then you had who'd you say, Heiran Ryu, like she's
hmm
hovering, I believe, 15th, 17th place every week this year with like, so she's
hmm
last year was getting a lot of those top 10, so a little off. Why you're getting a 28 to 1 on her now. Her
It's
results
just
down a bit, but
yeah. I think
there's a
it's
whole
just
bunch of them in
because
that range.
Yeah, I think it's just because with Heiran Rue, because she hits so many greens in regulation as well, like she's like one of the best in that category. Obviously it's an advantage. I do think with Heiran Rue, the putter is like very off-putting for her. Like if she has a good putting week, she could smoke the field by about five. Like that's how good she is. But yeah, like I just think it's a bit short to be honest. I feel like Jin Young Ko at the minute's a little bit lost too.
Yeah, I think I really like with Jin Young Ko. I've seen her as low as 20, 22 to 1, and I couldn't justify making that bet right now when you can see the class of players all around her and like what you can get at 30 to 1, 35 to 1. Obviously she's not the number one player in the world like she was a couple of years ago and like 5 years ago. So I'm going to agree with you. It's not as if I'd use the word that she's lost as much as that like she's next to elite instead of elite. So she's just not at that level. She's not winning. I believe it's been a while since she's won. So
Yeah,
I don't doubt that she might be top 15 this week, but um, I'm with you here. I'm just going to avoid Jin Young this week. I'm going to avoid Heiron Ryu. Like I said, I think something's missing there. Charlie Hall, you mentioned her name. Uh, I'm sure she'll come top 20 as well. It's kind of, she's consistent. She's going to
Oh,
be
here,
around. But
right, right, right. I've came to this agreement now that see at any massive tournament, just bet like, if you're going to bet Charlie Hill, just bet a first round leader. Just bet a
yeah,
first round leader. She's up there all the time.
I hit that last year at the Open. It was a great bet and a great day. I hit Charlie Hall first round leader.
Yeah,
But yeah, that group of players, like like so. I'm just going to piggyback. Like Alan Kim is certainly she's popular for a reason. Anyone who follows LPGA, like the people that I respect on X, Twitter, posting pics, they're all over Alam Kim, and it's for good reason. So you asked who out of that group, it's definitely her. And so there's a big group. I think there's a group of 8 to 10 players like in that kind of 25 to 35 range around
yeah,
Alam Kim too. That I'm sure you'll talk about a couple of those names too.
yeah. So the top one for me that stood out the most at 25 to 1. She's really coming into form again. Lauren Coughlin. It has to be Coughlin, to be honest. Like if we speak about, so obviously we speak about elite ball strikers. Obviously, Jeeno is one of the best ball strikers. Nelly's one of the best ball strikers. We expect them to be in the top 10. Ailem Kim's like one of the best ball strikers as well. She should be round about that mark as well in the top 10, top 20. But I think one of the most elite ball strikers on the LPG tour is Lauren Coughlin. She does that week in, week out. She's got yeah, she's an absolute weapon off the tee as well. She's very accurate. She hits it semi decent lengthwise as well. Hits greens in regulation for fun. Approach play one of the best in the world. The only thing about Coughlin is the putter, but like like with any elite ball striker, if they putt semi decent or just above average, you've got to think they've got a chance to be in contention come Sunday. And we've seen that with Coughlin as well, like especially last year. Obviously she got that first victory in Canada. Then I think it was 3 weeks later in a high class field in Scotland, she won the Scottish Open as well. So um, yeah, she's an elite player, elite ball striker. She was third here last year as well at the Chevron. When she's a much better player now than what she was last year at the Chevron as well. So yeah, that just kind of everything falls into category with Lauren Coughlin. She was second at the match play, unlucky to lose to Sagstrom in the end in the final, and she was in contention all week last week in LA. So she's tuning up fine for this. I think she's a major player. I think she's going to win a major. So yeah, for me, 25-1 on Super LC had to be done.
So I have a group I'd like to talk about, but you bet Coughlin. Did you bet Alim Kim too, or did you start your
No,
card at Coughlin?
no. So I started at 25-1 with Lauren Coughlin. Elam Kim, it was going to be a coin toss between them two. I don't know. I might still take, top 10 maybe on Elam Kim. I just think it was a tough one because I kind of expected Elam Kim to be, 30-1 minimum range. I think at 25 is a little bit skinny for me, but I could be left with egg on my face at the end. You never know. But yeah, for me, I thought it was a little bit short, but everything's
Yeah.
in place for Elam Kim too. But yeah, LC for me was the main one.
Oh, they both make perfect sense here, and I believe both are good bets. But I just want to highlight in this range, which I find kind of fascinating. Like we have a really good rookie class of Japanese players, and then
Mhm.
you throw in um, NASA and Ayaka. We have six Japanese players, all in just after where LC and Alim Kim would be, anywhere from 28 to 31-1 on what I'm looking front. So you got Rio Takada. I hope I said that right. I actually think she could be dangerous here. Um, I picked her somewhere
I
else this
only
year.
Nah, she's
I
not gonna win it, but she's not gonna win this week because I'm not on her. That's the rules. Like twice
that
I've
I
took Takeda, and twice she's won for me.
I I'm with you though. I'm not betting her this week just because I can't bet everyone. But out of all the Japanese players, I feel like this is the course for her, and she could be dangerous here. But I have her winning a different major. Uh,
Yeah.
I like the golf NASA has been playing. How she stormed up the leaderboard on Sunday this week. The two twins, Aki Iwa and Chisato Iwa. I don't think they're going to win this week, but they've great rookies. And then we talked about Fouye and then Miyo Yamashita. Um, not going to win this week.
Yamashita.
Are you sure it's not Yamashita? I've heard. I used to call it Yamashita. Then I hear them say whatever it is. I probably said it wrong. Great player, not going to win this week, but just want to highlight the great group of Japanese golfers we have
Oh,
here that are all 35-1 or shorter. There's six of them. Rio Takata, though, if I'm going to pick one out of that group of six that I'd say watch out for this week at Chevron, that's the one I'm going to highlight and say I'm most scared of her winning this tournament.
oh, Takeda's iron play is second to none. Like there's no denying that. I don't know. I just feel like can she, the only thing that kind of puts me off Takeda as well is that it's her Chevron debut as well. So she's not played the course before. Feel like it's an advantage if you've played the course at least once. Like Ake EY has played the course before. Um, she's in stunning form. Like the two second place finishes already this year. She's got good length off the tee as well. She seems to have a really good relationship with her caddy as well. English English caddy by the name of Mark Wallenting, I think it is. They've been playing like Ake Iwai is going to be a superstar. There's no denying about it. She would be the one out of that lot for me. I think. Just with the way she's playing, the kind of length she has off the tee, and well, she was 30th last year at the Chevron AKEY, which is pretty respectable, like for a first time view of the course. I think she could take major confidence that she's had two second place finishes already this year, and yeah, she would be the one.
You worried about last week?
Okay. No, no. I think she's going to win. She'll win. She'll win very shortly. I think. She's on such a heater at the minute.
I
I
don't
mean,
mean
to be
like
honest,
long.
to be honest, with AKEY, right? Like, who who shoots 27 under and still doesn't win the fucking golf tournament? That's that's mental.
The only reason I worry about last week is because just the mental pressure of being in it and then to bogey the last hole and then you got to turn around at a major 4 days later. Like that's a quick turnaround where you're so emotionally invested in a tournament and they come up short. Like I have no doubt that long term she's fine. I'm just, handicapping this particular tournament. And
She's still young. She's still young. She'll have plenty of chances. I don't think it's a worry at all. I think if anything, the way she's playing, she's probably itching to play the Chevron. Like she's itching to be in the top 10 again. Probably, I think. And no, to be honest, she's young. She'll have plenty of chances to win. I don't think it'll be too much of a factor.
so what I find fascinating is we've probably gone over 12 golfers that are all 32 to 1 or less, and we've still missed a few, and there's still a few more. So I'm looking at like the field to me is just so deep. Like when I'm looking 20, 25 players deep into this field, and I can still think of reasons why they have a good chance of winning this week, really highlights to me what a world-class field this is. And
Well, I've got
I just don't, I got to talk about Minjee Lee before you step up next because we kind of jumped right over her. I've made the pact that I just can't bet her short of 35 to 1 anymore because I don't think her game is producing 4 great rounds. And no matter what the stats are telling me, like I can't trust the putter. So no doubt her game is still elite at certain times, but at 25 to 1, 27 to 1, I've seen it prices. Again, I can't bet that because of where I started my card, but I think you can just pencil Minjee in for like a 17th place finish this week with 1 round of like 74, and that's where I'm at
oh,
there. So
she'll shoot a 65 at some point.
yeah,
She'll do that, and then she'll shoot a 76 or something after. But oh, no, I get what you're saying on Minjee Lee. It's crazy, but watching like still even to this day, watching her putt gives me nightmares. Oh, it gives me the fear.
but I just felt the need to highlight because I'm usually betting Minjee, big fan, but it's not this week. Um, I'll throw it back to you. I know there's a couple really good Americans in this range that we haven't talked about. Is there anyone
Are we
you want to
speaking
talk
about
about?
Are we speaking about a certain world number four and two-time major champion by any chance at 40 to 1? Fucking hell! Like Lily Avu, how is Lily Avu 40 to 1? Like I know.
No, you actually you passed the two Americans I was referencing. That's how good this field is. We haven't even got to Lilia Vu, and there's two Americans that have won this year that have been good at this course that I also think are very, very relevant. Might as well say them like Angel Yin and You Let Me Know are both very live this week, and they've won this year. And then yeah, we might as well throw Lilia Vu in that mix. Americans who've been good here, considering she beat Angel Yin in a playoff here 2 years ago. So yeah, there's so many golfers that can win here, and those three Americans, I guess I'll throw it back to you. Out of No, Yin, and Vu, who do you think has the best chance this weekend?
So obviously, spoiler alert. Next one is Lily Avu for me at 40 to 1. I mean, like, okay, like last week in an LA tournament. I mean, she was in the 50 to 1 range. It didn't really intrigue me that much. I mean, straight after a second place finish, uh, yeah, sorry, a second place finish the week before the match play as well, in Arizona, where realistically she should have won, to be honest. But no, like the thing, the thing with Lily Avu is like, okay, she can play well here and there at these tournaments, but our our record at major tournaments for a player that's only been playing in them since like 2022, 2023, it's pretty spectacular to be honest. She was in contention. She was in contention majority of last year at St Andrews, where she finished second at the Open. 26 at the KPMG, second at the well, what was it again? Can't remember from the top of my head, but yeah, she was second. First, she was first, obviously, the first year here at the 2023 Chevron as well. So yeah, she's a major player. She's still fourth in the world. Um, I mean, I personally think like when it comes to Lilia Vu, she just like in terms of major championship golf, like she kind of pinpoints here and there the majors like as the main tournaments that she's going to be involved in. Like she's going to be in contention. Um, when she was second in Arizona, like in that tournament, she looked very good actually, and I believe she said to one of the on-course commentators, I think, or one of the reporters that in terms of her, like obviously we all know that she's got a persistent back injury that's kind of halted her career, and that's kind of what you get with Lilia Vu, like factoring in the price and stuff. But she said to that reporter, I believe that her back was okay. She's faring okay with it, and I think with an injury-free Lilia Vu, she's got more than enough power and more than enough chance to win specifically the Chevron as well. And yeah, 40 to 1 for a player of Lilia Vu's quality. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty amazing value to be honest, and would not surprise me at all. She's lingering all week in the top 10, and she's got more than enough to win.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I mean, she's a great player. That kind of was kind of my point when I was making with Aki Iwai. Like Lilia Vu really should have won in Arizona. And it wasn't the next week, but then she missed cut after that emotional letdown. Now, I know a major tournament's different than whatever the LA Championship or whatever is, but it's hard to get up that close to a win and then be back there the next time out. But with her, like I can't argue anything you said. She plays so well at the majors. I remember last year I actually went on someone's pod and they asked me about uh, bet to make, and I said take Lilia Vu over Nelly Korda at AIG Open. I was like, she's good, and they tied. But I don't know if you remember the last hole, the 72nd hole. Lilia Vu three putted from like 7 feet for solo
Yeah,
second.
because I was on Lydia course. So yeah, thank you.
So, so Lilia Vu three putts 72nd hole to tie second, when she would have been clearly second and won that heads up bet over Nelly Korda. But that's going to be a memory of mine for a while.
So the point I'll make to any casual that listens, like if you want major play, I mean, Lilia Vu in major championship golf is not a 40 to 1 golfer. Let's just say that.
I agree. I think the only reason she's 40 to 1 is because coming off of injury and just how many golfers there are to price. Like, there's no other real reason that because you're right. Your case, her history speaks for itself. The quality of player
I
speaks for
mean,
itself.
no disrespect to Nasa Hataoka, but like, there's 12 points in the difference between Hataoka and Vu. I know Hataoka finished in the top five last week in the LA, but you take Vu 10 times out of 100 probably out of them two.
I
Not you, but other people.
No, I agree. But I think the NASA price was it's part of what this old Xander argument used to be. It's like, why is he always priced here? He never wins. And I think it's all related to their placements. Because you can't price NASA at 50 to 1, because then they're just going to hammer the 20s and the 10s. Where Vu, because of injury, there's just more variance to where the bottom could be compared to the top. I mean, that's the only logical reason I could see, because no one's picking NASA to win the tournament over Vu, but I think people think of the consistency and where the floor would be for NASA would just be more consistent. That's the only way I could justify that price difference. But
and and also if you're looking for a clutch putter on a Sunday, especially at a major, like Lilia Vu is one of the best putters in the world. There's no doubt about it.
for sure. So that was a lot
Yeah,
on Lily Vu. That's your second pick.
yeah.
Um,
you let me know. What are your thoughts on No? Obviously, she's got the win now. Her major record is pretty poor, to be honest, but she's now a winner. She's a better player than what she's been probably in her career. Is this the time that you let me know shows what she can do in a major?
I would say partly. I don't think she's going to win, but I think to your point about when you look at how well she's playing recently and to the end of last year, I think that the let me know at this major is not the same one to speak for her major past performance. So I wouldn't hold that against her because I think clearly she's a better player now. She's found something to be consistently near the top of the leaderboard. But all that being said, um, not taking her to win, obviously. Let's throw in the 8th through 15th type range. That's I expect her to play well. But I think she's clearly a different player if you look at her recent results. So I'm not here to say anything bad about her chances. It's just what my previous point was when you look at how deep this field is and how many contenders we have. I do think she's going to have to, sweat out some major reps in the thick of things before she pulls a major out of her pocket.
Is there anybody in this range between this range and 66 to 70 to 1 kind of range that if you had to take?
Well, I did take one. I did submit a favorite, mid, and a long shot, and I did bet all of them as outrights. So the mid-range one I did take, and it's not going to make a lot of sense at the moment, is Jeeno's best friend, Ronnie Yin. Um, Her form's not great, but at the end of last year, she was being priced at 12 to 1, 11 to 1 at tournaments. She won 3 times. She is a former major winner. So at 45 to 1, I just took a chance at a elite player who's not playing elite at the moment. So I just figured, why not? I don't have a lot of we have a lot of great cases. Like, I mean, a lot of those players we talked about down at the 25 range, obviously I would have took over her, but when I'm looking at 45 and someone with major record and someone who won 3 times late last year, I just took a chance. So really, it's playing at the top end talent there, but Ronnie Yin is who I took at 45 to 1. And then between that and 100 to 1, I don't have room. I have that one player at 9, 10 to 1, one player at 45 to 1, and I bet a player 100 to 1. So Ronnie Yin, 45 to 1.
I mean, to be honest, she's not exactly playing like our spectacular best, but she's one of them players that can turn up, especially at a major any week. So yeah, I wouldn't put past her, but yeah, there's question marks about her form currently though.
For sure. So I'll throw it back on you as we've gone over a lot of the players. Like, so to recap your card so far, we have LC and we have Lilia Vu. So where do you go next?
So before I go into my third of 4 picks, I'm just going to kind of throw out the name of Hyoju Kim, who obviously she's won in Arizona as of recent, and to be honest, like when I was doing like the major form like article, it just kind of stood out a little bit. I'm unsure whether to take her outright or maybe even a top 10, but like if you look at her major record, like in her last 8 starts, so 29, 12, 16, 12, a miscut, fourth, 20th, 20th, and sixth. So like she's a major winner in her own right. 2014 Evian winner. She missed cut last year at Carlton Woods, but was 11th in 2023. So yeah, she's Hyoju Kim's the type of player when she gets hot, she gets really hot, and I wouldn't put past her like potentially at 45 to 1 challenging this week. But before that, so obviously now I'll go into my 66 to 1 pick, which I don't think I've ever took her before, to be honest. But like whenever I see the leader, the leaderboard each week, one name in particular seems to consistently kind of be round about the 20th mark to the 30th kind of mark. Uh, I, I don't actually know how to. No, wait, it's he Jin Choi. Is that Hi Jin Choi? He Jin Choi?
I
Uh,
always said
si-
it's Hyde and Choi, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, Hee Jin Choi, the talented South Korean player. Yeah, she just like when it comes to the leaderboard, she just seems to be an ever present, like in that kind of top 20 kind of range, and I do think she's a very good player. Um, Obviously, I've took her out right. Whether or not she's got the quality, in this type of field, with all the best players in the world to get a major win remains to be seen. But like for a little bit of each way value at 66 to 1, I mean, um, she missed the cut last week at LA. I'm not really bothered about that at all. But a bit before that, 17th at the Ford, 11th at the HSBC Women's in Singapore, 26 in Thailand, 8th at the Tour Championship as well. So that shows you she can play well in these, high post big tournaments. Um, and in terms of this course, 46 last year, but she had a 17th in 2023 as well, and she had a 17th at the other course in California. So she's got a couple of top 20s at the Chevron tournament in general. So she's kind of got a little bit of good form. So yeah, 66 to 1 each way value. Heejin Choi, worth a shot, I think.
It's funny that the last two players you talked about, when I first started following the LPGA, I confused Haiju Kim and Haijin Choi. Both Koreans whenever their names, because they're always, but like you said, they're so consistent. They're always around that inside the top 30, top 20. It took me a few tournaments to realize which one was which. But interesting choices, those two potential winners. I'm worried with the Haju Kim is the did the distance take her out of this course? Like her consistency keeps her making cuts and around, but can she actually win would be my worry. Um, but yeah, before we go any further, I guess the one I'm obliged to talk about in this range would be Brooke Henderson,
Mhm.
our Canadian two-time major winner, who's been actually really good here at this course, but her form has slipped off. But when you look at someone at the 2 years here, she's come third and 23rd. Clearly, there's something in the course she likes. She plays well here, but her current form is a little below average for her. I'd say she's got the one top 10 this year, but a couple missed cuts. But I just felt obligated that in this 65-60 range to point out that Brooke Henderson, two-time major winner, Canadian, uh, generally not this far down the odds board. So that shows you that her form is a little off this year.
Yeah, just going on about Henderson. I mean, so she's played this event in general like quite a lot of times, and yeah, she's never missed a cut at the Chevron in 10 starts. So
Yeah.
there you go. 10 starts, zero cuts missed. Um, multiple top tens, multiple top 20s. Yeah, I think if you're going to play Brooke Henderson, I'd probably say top 10, top 20 is probably a best bet.
Yeah, I don't think she has it quite now to win, but just like I said, though, felt the need to call her out and give the Canadian shout out to Brooke Henderson. Hope she plays well this week, but I don't think this is going to be her tournament this week.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously the Swede train. You mentioned Lynn Grant. Her form is pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie. Like it looks like she's struggling, but if you look at her major championship record, it's pretty good.
Well, you're getting a good price on Lingard for course fit and for quality player. And like you pointed out, there's a reason why. There's always a reason why you get a good price. And she had that start to the season that I think she came top 10 first start of the year at the tournament champions, and it's just not looked good since. But yeah, if you want someone who can hit the ball far and has played relatively well here, and you're getting what I think 80 to 1, maybe 90 to 1, but 80, 90 to 1, like it's not a bad bet in my opinion. Like I didn't go there. I don't again harp the same point. I don't have a lot of room to go a lot of places when you start with Jeeno, but I don't think it's a bad bet here.
Yeah, so just for context, so in our last 8 major starts, 10th, 26th, 9th, miscut, 17th, 11th, 16th, 20th. Pretty good. Seven top 20s in our last 8 major starts, including
Well,
17th here last year as well. So,
well, you
I
go
mean,
back three more, and she's got a top 10 and a top 20. So,
yeah,
so it's very consistent.
yeah, very consistent. But yeah, something seems a little off with her game at the minute. I think she was even vocal about that on social media. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she can surprise, with a top 20 this week. I wouldn't put past her, but yeah. Um, I just thought it was interesting that you mentioned her earlier on in the show, and she's kind of gone down to that range. But it's like, seems a bit of value there, but
So I'm gonna just share like now we're down this part of the board. My last pick and my long shot pick because
Mhm.
I've got to get running here soon. But I saw it 100 to 1, Esther Henselet, and I said, sure. She was contending last week, played well. That big stage of the Olympics came second, followed it up with another second. So good, talented player. So at 100 to 1, I had to pick a long shot, and I had a couple cents left over on my card to throw it down that deep the board. So that's my long shot play of the week for this tournament. And Esther Henselet.
so with Henselite, I think one of the positives that for her, like obviously, she's got the distance, she's got the power, but she's got Jin Young Ko's old caddy, David Brooker, who they won 2 major championships with together. So I mean, obviously she's coming off of a third place finish in LA. The confidence probably probably added to that after that, and to have someone with Dave Brooker's experience on the bag could be pivotal, like for a very good week. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past Henselite. The last one for me, obviously before we have to go, is someone that won a couple of starts ago, for the first time in 5 years. Speaking of Swedes, Madeline Sagstrom. So Sagstrom for me, 125 to 1. Like, for someone with vast experience and obviously someone that won one of the biggest titles of the year in the match play, 125 to 1 seems a little bit of an over exaggeration. It's not like she's got like a terrible record in major championships. So miscut at St Andrews, but 12th, 22nd, 69th, which isn't fantastic. 30th, miscut, and 39th. I mean, it's not exactly pulling up any trees, but it's not exactly like terrible. 30th last year at Chevron as well. She's had a 13th over at the other course as well. I think with Sagstrom, getting that win after 5 years, it's probably took the monkey off her back a little bit, and I feel like Sagstrom's due a very good run in a major at some point very very soon, and yeah, 125 to 1. Why not at the Chevron?
I mean, I agree. When you're picking down here, you can miss a cut very easily, but you're just betting someone's upside here. Like you're taking a long shot, and Sagstrom winning the match play, like you really have to be dialed in for where they play like 7 rounds in 5 days. So she pulled that off, big win, and is probably playing a little loose. And with Henselite, my long shot, just going to highlight if you count the Olympics, which I am, that's 3 top 10s in 6 the major tournaments last year. So the upside is there. So at 100 to 1, you're just playing for a little bit of upsize, and you never know.
One last mention, because she was second last year, and we know like the power she possesses. Maya Stark, it's a little bit of a fear of missing out, because I feel like when she's in a positive light, she's such a dangerous player. Like she's such a dangerous player in the field to try and come up against. She's a very very emotional player. Like wears her heart on her sleeve. Um, but I feel like when Maya Stark gets firing and she's in a good place, she can certainly go on the birdie trail, and she's certainly a threat. The only thing is, I think our latest form is pretty garbage, if anything. So that's kind of what puts me off Maya. But see if Maya Stark is in contention, uh, yeah, I might be crying,
I guess to close
especially
it
at
off,
150 to 1.
yeah, to kind of close it off though, like Maya, that's what you're getting, right? She might come contend and then miss the cut, so you're not going to see it coming. So play the price, and then you never know when it comes. But I guess kind of one of my final points I want to make as we wrap this up is two big winners of this podcast, I think, are Sweden and Japan. Good job by them, highlighting a lot of the players from those two countries. Going to have a big tournament this week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a Sweden versus Japan battle, isn't it? So, and maybe Lauren Coughlin in the middle of that. So,
Well, of
so so
course,
so obviously we've got the best picks this week. So might as well say it while we're here. So my favourite this week is obviously Lauren Coughlin. My mid one is Heejin Choi. And my long shot is obviously Madeline Sagstrom. And my top 10 play, sorry, this week is going to be Lilia Vu. So, and for you is obviously Gino, yeah?
Jeeno top play. My mid is Ronnie Yin, 45 to 1. Long shot Esther Henseleit. My top 10 for our picks, who we didn't even discuss, was Alison Corpuz at 50 to 1. And I'm just going to throw this out there. There's a good chance I go heavy top 10 Gino because it's even money. And I feel like at even money, her chances of top 10 are great. So if you're looking for some Gino exposure but don't like the outright price, even money top 10, recommendation from me.
Yeah, I mean, so Lauren Coughlin at 25 to 1, Lilia Vu 40 to 1, Heejin Choi 66 to 1, and Madeline Sagstrom at 125 to 1 are the four I'm playing. Ailem Kim, I'm a little bit up in the air. I could potentially, possibly a top five play maybe with Ailem Kim. I don't know, I've got a little bit of a fear of missing out. And like just mentioning Maya Stark now is kind of maybe got me in the mood for a top 20. Could be a good price for that. Like if she gets hot, we know she can get hot. She possibly may have a chance, but yeah, they're the ones I'm kind of leaning towards, and yeah, let's hope that one of us have the winner out of the six of us this week for the Chevron. Otherwise, otherwise people will be thinking, who are these fools?
Like, wait, it's easy. Look, Rory wins the Masters. This stuff's easy. What are these guys talking about? But no, I'm putting my foot on it. It's Gino. Anyone who wants to ask, pick her to win, pick her to top 10, pick her to top 5. Just go all
Yeah,
in.
and for me, if anybody asks me, oh, who's going to win the Chevron? Yeah, there's only going to be one answer for me. Lauren Coughlin's going to win this week.
Perfect. Good luck.
We're going to need it, mate. That's for
Mm.
sure. Right. Anyway, all the best. Thanks for coming on, Scott. I appreciate it. I know it's kind of like short notice-ish, kind of, but obviously it's always good to speak with you. And yeah, let's fingers crossed for some success at the first major.
All right. Thanks for having me, Craig. Looking forward to it. Let's enjoy the week.
Hope it's LC, not Jeeno. Obviously, but anyway, thank you. Cheers.